Poles did come out pretty bold and say, quote, "No one's going to rush me. I know I can get a 24-1 and a 25-1. You're telling me for the next 2 years I'll have 2 1s? That's either 4 really good players, or if we're cruising, we can still trade back." As far as the quote-unquote surprise team, the way it was worded was 3 teams have already shown interest. So there was some movement on this last week. And there's basically I don't know if you want to, I don't really want to put words in his mouth, but it sounds like there's at least preliminary offers potentially on the table, at least discussions. And of those 3 teams, it was noted that one of those 3 teams caught Poles off guard because it was a little bit farther back than he thought. Beyond the blue. What that means is, if you heard Poles and pay attention to this last week, he described the top players on the board, like the elite of the elite players in the draft, as getting blue labels. Mm-hmm. Kind of like you might give a
Johnny Walker
blue right there. So that third team would theoretically push the Bears beyond the blue into an area where now it's not one of the top. They're very likely not getting one of the top guys available. And so that obviously means you got to pay more to come up that far. So really nothing that we haven't talked about already, other than that this was actual things that Poles gave to Peter King and is now out there straight from the general manager.
To state the obvious, the home run for the Bears, the biggest home run that Ryan Poles can pick is to trade down significantly far and still end up with a top 3 player in this draft and with draft picks. Let's see how good you are. Let's see you pull that guy at whatever, 9 at Carolina or further down, and you look at it when we redo the redraft in 3 years, I'm like, oh my God, Poles actually got the second best player in this draft, and he got first-round picks, and that's why Ryan Poles is my general manager for life, because he's just that cool. So it's just what's his risk tolerance? How much does who does he absolutely have to have or not have to have?
Yeah, and in that Peter King article, he said there may be only 6 or 8 of those, again, those blue chip players, when the Bears end up setting their board. So the ideal scenario, you do require or accumulate draft capital in the future and could still land one of those 6 to 8 guys to where you can obviously get an impact player, but also have that draft capital in the future to, again, acquire more of these top-end players that are going to obviously help your roster. So I don't think it's like anything too crazy new, but I think the big thing here is, like, you know, he's looking at 2025 too to get that first rounder. And I think maybe going into this week, I think 2024 was like the idea that I think Ryan Poles was aiming for, but he's going high. He wants a 2025 first rounder as well.